Hey guys, it's Billy coming at you again from the condo, still in the condo, in beautiful Jupiter, Florida. Down here for spring training, working for the Cardinals. So on my previous videos, I spoke about and showed the stuff that I picked up in Kentucky. So when I stopped and saw Melinda and ended up stopping in Bowling Green at Mellow Mass Music. And then in a different video, I chronicled all my Atlanta trip with Steve, Harmless Rebel, which was a great time. Both of them were great times. Thank you to both of you for being so kind and generous with your not only your time, but your friendship, opening your homes. It was great. So thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Steve. I would have loved to have had the opportunity to meet Philip, Melinda's husband, but he was on a business trip. So next time, hopefully, you guys are always more than welcome at my place as well. So we will definitely try and get together when you guys come to St. Louis, I believe, in June. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So, but thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Steve, for your kindness. Now we're talking about Florida. So after I left Steve's place, which would have been Saturday morning, last Saturday, very early, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was about a 7-hour drive from Steve's to Orlando, to Brad's place, because Brad's on the other side of Orlando. Met up with Brad over at H2VINYL. Just basically had time to load in, unload my stuff, and get changed, get cleaned up real quick, and lo and behold, Tim, DJHIGHNOON, shows up. And we are ready to hit the road for a day of digging, sharing stories, laughing, having lunch. It was a great, all-around great day. First off, I think, first I have to thank Tim and Brad for just two all-around great dudes, just wonderful guys to hang around with. Our personalities just clicked, our sense of humor, everything was just we had a wonderful day. At least I did. I'm hoping the feeling was mutual and that you guys were entertained as well. But I had a great time. So they had planned out our trip, and the first stop was Park Avenue Records and CDs. And so this is Orlando, basically. All over Orlando is what you'll see in this video. So Park Ave, like I said, picking up the swag from these places. I picked up this one for me and one for my buddy Mitch Wood, who is a huge Prince fan. I had to grab one of those. I'll be sending one of those your way, Mitch. So Park Ave, CDs and records. I looked through the used records, but I didn't see much. There was a decent amount, but nothing that really jumped out to me. But now their new vinyl is tremendous. They have a really deep inventory of new vinyl and very well priced. So one thing I picked up is Steve Earle, Jerusalem. This one I did not have. I've just kind of been ignoring that later half. Now, I mean, I did get So You Want to Be an Outlaw and a couple of those other things, but I'm talking like what, I don't even know which one it is. This one has America 6.0 on it. So it's this Jerusalem record, and then one after it. But I've slowly been picking those things up. I mean, I finally picked up the Terrapin Blues, and as you've seen in my last video, I picked up Train A-Comin'. But being a huge Steve Earle fan, I can't believe I didn't have this already. I think it may have just been reissued in the last year or two. I'm not 100% sure, but this came out in 2002. This was right after Transcendental Blues, I believe. But the more I listen to it, the more I like it. I really enjoy it. At first, I was really turned off by some of the things, especially a lot of the political stuff on here. But I'm glad I picked it up. Then I am more of a casual Hank 3 fan than hardcore or die hard by any stretch of the imagination. Um, really love Hank Jr. and Hank Sr. Hank 3, I like his stuff. It's different, it's unique. So when I saw this greatest hits of Hank 3, it's 15 career spanning hits. Of course, you know, if you know anything about Hank the Third, you know he has basically three careers. I mean, he's a traditional. He has his traditional country music that he does. He has his like kind of cowpoke, cow punk stuff, and then he has his metal stuff that he does. So this album kind of spans that whole career. Like I said, you get 15 different cuts on here, so I'd be good to go with this. Glad I found that and went ahead and picked that one up. And then as we were checking out, they had some CDs on a spindle. It's actually a listening station, which I looked at Brad and Tim and I'm like, this is so cool to have listening stations back. I remember back in the day going to like Music Land or Sam Goody or whatever it was, and Tower Records, places like that where you could go up and they had all the new releases on listening stations. You could just put on the headphones and listen away and preview all the new stuff. And they had this Yola, which I had already been familiar with, and this is a Walk Through the Fire. So I was turned on to Yola by a friend of mine, Jenny, who we just share tons of musical interests. I mean, it's like almost like we share the same brain and the same heart when it comes to our musical likings and our musical taste. And she sent me this. I had heard of Yola, but I had never heard Yola. So a couple of the songs that she sent, I fell in love, and she even compared her to, and her words, not mine, she said, female, black, Chris Stapleton. Enough said. So once I listened to it, I was like, wow. Talk about country, talk about soul, talk about rhythm and blues. It's really fantastic record. I can't wait to get home and spin this on the turntable. That was everything that I picked up at the first stop. Then we went to a really great shop. I think Florida is, from what I can tell, Florida is known for some really killer shops that aren't huge. See, in St. Louis, we have some really over-the-top huge stores, record stores, that are just middle of the road if we want to get right down to it. Euclid Records is great. They're phenomenal. They would be the exception to that rule, I would say. Vintage vinyl, completely overrated in my opinion. Record Exchange, another, you couldn't pay me to go in there and buy records. If you love those places, I apologize. They're just not for me. But this place here, Foundation Vinyl, Alex and Pete Cohen are the owners. What a fantastic place. I love this place. Follow them on Instagram. Go check them out. It's Foundation Vinyl in Florida. Man, what a killer store. I don't remember, I think it was Alex that I met that day. But just a great owner, super personality. They do it right. I mean, they're constantly buying collections, but he's just purging, getting rid of the nonsense, kind of that filler. And all he's doing, he has a very small place, so he can't put, $3 and $5 records in there. Nothing against $3 and $5 records. We all need those. We all have those spots to fill in our collection, but he didn't have the space to put those kind of things in there. So everything he had in there really was fire. So this is Foundation Vinyl in Florida. Here's one that I know Brandon is going to love. Billy Idol, Charmed Life. This is from '86. Oh shit, this is 1990. Yeah, I knew it was really late because I had never seen it. You never see this. At least I've never seen one in the wild. And I jumped on it immediately. Was stoked to be able to add this one to the collection. And then you guys know, if you watched my previous videos, you saw I picked up a stickered sticker back Bruce Springsteen Born to Run. This is a CBS half-speed master. Did not have this, so of course, after I picked it up, looked at it, just a beautiful copy. The price was right. Went home with me. Love that album, in case you didn't already know. The first real heater of the day, an original Betty Davis, self-titled. You just don't see these out in the wild. I picked up an OG pressing of Nasty Gal from Betty Davis during my trip to DC last October. The cover is probably VG minus, but the vinyl is great. He even put it on, Alex even put it on and spun it for me. Really sounded great and a phenomenal price. So thank you so much for that. Glad to add that one to the collection finally. I have a reissue of that, so I wasn't as concerned with the sound quality, but the sound quality was great. I mean, but if I'm going to listen to it, I'm going to put on the new reissue. But to have an OG of that, they're just so hard to find. Speaking of hard to find, this is from, my eyes are getting terrible. God, I can't even read it anymore. I'm gonna have to get glasses. I'm getting to that point. I'm gonna guess 2002. Yeah, something like that. Eminem show. This is a really, really nice OG pressing. Of course, you know they have recently reissued the majority, if not all, of Eminem's catalog. But it was nice to find this 2 LP pressing. You know, it's just in one sleeve. Real clean copy of that. Happy to score that. Like I said, man, this place had the fire. They had the heat. Queensryche, The Warning. There we go. Of course, somebody decided to hang it up on their wall, put pinholes in it up here in the top corner. But other than that, really beautiful. The vinyl is awesome. Original inner sleeve, beautiful vinyl on that gray EMI label. Queensryche, The Warning. And then this one was the showstopper right here. Truth be told, probably the showstopper of the trip. So, drum roll. Let me take it out here, get that glare off. Body count. Cop Killer. As you can see by the tattoo, there you go. Cop Killer tattoo across the chest. This is so hard to find. I mean, my jaw hit the floor when I saw this, and I have to say, huge thank you to Alex for basically going into the backstash, you know, the gold room, if you will, and let not only myself but Brad and Tim pick through a crate of records that he had set aside for a special event. So I thank you so much for that. Not only letting us look through it, but for actually selling me something out of there. A couple things. The Betty Davis came out of there as well. This is sweet. You guys know, those of you that know. You know, I know I say that quite a bit, but this thing is impossible to find. This is a UK pressing, an original UK pressing, but that's fire right there. So that's the big boy from the trip. It's definitely not the end of the trip, but that was the big boy. So glad to have that one in the collection. So after we left there, we ended up going to another really killer shop. It was a good ways out of the way. Triangle Vinyl in Claremont, Florida. Triangle Vinyl, the owner is Justin. I believe, yeah, his name is Justin. Just a great little shop, man. Again, one of those shops that I wish we had close to me. The owner was just great. He has really good taste, and had the run of the gamut. First thing I really enjoyed about Triangle Vinyl is when you walk in the door, along the left side of the wall, as soon as you walk in, there are either two or four rows of, so I believe it was 4 rows of new arrivals. That's what I'm talking about. So obviously the first place I went, even though I had never been to the store before, was the new arrival bin. And lo and behold, here, Triangle Vinyl. I love that little spindle hole there. You can pop it out. That's cool. Lo and behold, he had the discography of Eric Church. So he's just saying, oh, okay, yeah, Eric Church, no big deal. Carolina, yeah. And as I'm digging through, he's like, oh, I got the Caught in the Act Alive in there, which is a hard record to find. And you know, I obviously seen that there was some good stuff in there. Somebody had just traded in the whole, either traded in or sold their entire Eric Church collection. I pulled this up and I'm kind of looking at it. He goes, yeah, that's the black vinyl. That's okay. So I look on the back. What's missing? No second pressing. This is an original first pressing from 2008, 2009 of Eric Church, Carolina. These things are impossible. From a country music fan, if you're a country music vinyl collector or an Eric Church fan, you know how freaking hard these are to find. This is heat right here. So what they did on the original first pressings, they look like this, and then the second pressings, and the first pressing and the second pressing have the same catalog number, same UPC code, same outer jacket, same black vinyl, and the same matrix information on the record. The only difference is second pressings have a purple stamp here that say second pressing. So I was stoked, absolutely stoked to find that. $15, probably $10 because I bought so much he cut me a deal. This was $10. Near mint condition all the way around. The record doesn't even look like it's ever been played. Floored, absolutely floored when I found that. Another one. This is Jamie Johnson, the guitar song. Now this is he said this was traded into the store a month or so. He's had this about a month or so. The reason I know that is because I asked him, is this the new UMG reissue? And he was not aware of a reissue. And of course I told him, I'll get into another video, but there's a new UMG reissue. Be careful if you're looking for these because these are very pricey. Universal Music has reissued this. It's about a $50 reissue, still same 3 LP, black, white, and then black, white split. Same UPC code, same catalog number, same everything. The only difference is, you see how this is a sepia color here? The new release this is a little bit more blue. So where we see sepia, it's just a shade more blue. There's actually differences in the sizing, but you won't know if you don't have an original with you to measure up. I've listed all that on the Discogs information on the original listing, but everything is the same, but this is an original. Nice to have another copy of that. And I picked up John Hartford, Mark Twang. So this is the second John Hartford album that I picked up on this trip. And I must have some crazy angle going on here with this. I'm kind of scooched all the way over this way. Anyway, back to John Hartford. This is the second John Hartford record I've picked up on this trip, and I picked this one up because it has Long Hot Summer Day on it. Really love that song, you know, Turnpike Troubadours, but John Hartford did it. I don't know if anybody had done it prior to, but it's on this record. Glad to pick that one up. Laugh track, cued. Paula Abdul. This is what, Forever Your Girl, which in shrink, hype sticker, and this has I think this has Straight Up on it. Yeah, Straight Up, Cold Hearted, Forever Your Girl. There you go. Didn't have that one. Glad to add that one to the collection. Another one I was stoked to find. Like I said, this place brought the freaking heat. Vaughn Brothers, you know, Stevie Ray and Jimmy. This is Family Style, a nice OG from 1990. Of course, I have the Analog Productions reissue box set, and this was in there, but it's nice to have an OG of that as well. Very nice pressing. Super stoked to find this one, even though I just found out that they're going to be reissuing this on Record Store Day. But Ace Frehley, Trouble Walkin' from 1989. This is a beautiful, beautiful record club pressing. This is a, I hope it's a Columbia House or a BMG. This is a Columbia House pressing in shrink, just gorgeous, near mint, beautiful copy. Glad to finally have that one back in the collection. I traded a copy to Ron Haggerty quite some time ago, so glad to have that one back. Actually, I VCLT'd it, I believe. We may have traded it VCLT'd, whatever, but Ron has the other copy that I used to have. Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime, a really nice OG copy of this. I'm talking beautiful BMG Music Club pressing. Stoked to find that one. And then you want to talk about stoked. I'm talking, these next two are just fire. Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way? This is a UK release. I don't believe it was pressed in the United States. Could be wrong on that, but this is a UK pressing. So glad to have that one. What a great album from a great artist. And then this one was amazing. Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. I had showed this in a Instagram post, and everybody just kind of thought it was the 12-inch single, and because you just don't see this, but no, this is the LP. So you got side BB, Belle Biv, Dope, BBD, Let Me Know Something, Do Me, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph, and Johnny, Word to Your Mother. And then side D, Poison, Ain't Nothing Changed, When Will I See You Smile Again, I Do Need You. Sealed. It won't be sealed for long. As soon as I get home, I'm going to pop it and listen to it. This has been in my want list, and you just don't see these in the States, man. Every time I see these on Discogs, on my want list, they're out of the country. And yeah, you can get them for $10 or $15, and then by the time you pay $15 shipping, you're looking at it's a $30 record. So in the States, this is a $30, $40 record all day long. You just don't see it. And this is from 1990. Awesome find. So stoked to find that one. Then we hit Rock and Roll Heaven. And at Rock and Roll Heaven, they were just, they had an overwhelming selection. Let me just put it that way. We breezed through there. I hit up the country section. This is a Vern Gosdin Chiseled in Stone from 1987. You may have seen, I picked up a copy of this when I was in Atlanta with Steve, but I picked this one up because it's a sealed copy. And then this was a jammer. This was a jaw dropper for me, kind of a mind blower. You know, the body count was, that'll blow everybody's mind, but for you country music lovers, you know, like myself and a handful of you other guys out there, this will blow your mind. Ricky Van Shelton, Backroads from 1993. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought I knew that there were only the first three Ricky Van Shelton albums, and then the, well, 4 if you count the Christmas album. I had no idea this thing was even pressed on vinyl. This is a record club, Columbia House pressing. It was in shrink whenever I bought it, but it was that nasty shrink that was all wrinkled up and everything, so I pulled it off. I mean, this thing is mint. The record doesn't look like it's ever seen any time on the turntable. So freaking stoked. So stoked to pick this up. I would have paid 2 or 3 times what I paid for this album just to have it. So happy to have that one. Then the last place we hit was Groovy Records. Groovy Records was not so groovy. They're in DeLand, the historic district. Ooh, pinky out. But it's okay. It's okay. The shop was just kind of the layout was weird for me, and their shelves were way too tight. And I told Brad, I almost felt like I was going to knock the next shelf of records off while I was sorting through the stack that was in front of me. Anyway, I'm glad I was able to leave there with something. UFO, No Heavy Petting. Been looking for this one for a while. A nice clean copy. This is a killer record. You just don't see clean copies of it. And they're getting really pricey. These things are hitting that $25, $30 and up range. So there you go. Stoked to pick that one up. One thing I forgot was back at Rock and Roll Heaven, where I got the Vern Gosdin and Ricky Van Shelton. They had some 8-tracks, and I picked up Alabama's Wild Country on, it's not Sun Records, it's Plantation, which is a Shelby Singleton corporation. There you go. So this was before they hit it big. I was glad to find that. That was, I think I paid $40 for all 3 of those things there. So the 2 records in that. So there you have it, guys. Man, sorry to make such a long video, but it was well worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you hung in there till the end. I cannot emphasize how much fun I had with Tim, DJHIGHNOON, Brad, H2VINYL. Thank you for dragging me around all day, entertaining me, just all the camaraderie, friendship. It was a blast. And Brad, thank you for opening up your house to me and letting me stay. You guys made that trip down so much more enjoyable. So guys, as always, thank you for tuning in. I do have one more video that'll be coming in a few more days, so be on the lookout for that. One more video from my favorite stop here once I get into Jupiter. It's in Lake Worth. The owner's name is John over at Top 5 Vinyl. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, all your support, comments, likes, and just for your friendship. Until next time, we'll see you guys. Take care. Peace.